Ah, yo, I'm not gonna lie. Your boy's been packed up these past couple days. Yeah, eating a little too much spicy food. We might have to settle down on the spicy stuff. I like me some spicy food, I'm not gonna lie. But my stomach took a whooping. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the bathroom, and it was a shitty situation, so to say. No pun intended. But thank you to Febreze for always coming in clutch, for giving a full paladin cleanse through the air. Much love to you. And thank you, editor, for sending me those baby wipes, because your boy needed a lot of them, and we're gonna need like 10,000 more because our stomach is packed. However, though, besides that, I hope everyone's having a good day, a blessed day, and much love to you, indeed. We have a lot of things to discuss, and besides that, we're gonna, go over a lot of these things that I have to tell you. I've been waiting to talk to you about it. I'm sorry I haven't been making a video. Apologize. Don't shoot me, commenters. Don't shoot me. My hands are up. Settle down. Don't get packed. YouTube family friendly. However, thanks to the link down below, Rested XP, your guide through all of Azeroth and completing your quest more easily and accessible for your, liking. And support the boys, support the channel. And if anything, just like and subscribe to the video. That's all I really care about. Much love to you. And let's go into today's video and talk about the things we want to go for. So, it seems like a lot of things for the past couple days have been adjusted, and Blizzard has really been paying attention to Molten Core, checking out the heat levels, and making some nerfs and some quite interesting changes all around the board. But we're going to discuss it right now. So here's some generic things that are going on within just Sod that we'll take, with first, and then we'll go into more of the changes within MC. So in Season Discovery, it seems like that players have the 18 slot bag. You can get the 20 slot bag at Booty Bay, where you can get the Undermined Reels. Players who've killed Magmadar are unable to douse the Rune of Crest. If you had issues with that, you can now swap the heat difficulty back and forth and should find that you can now douse the rune. Lava Surges and MC will no longer spawn after killing Ragnaros has been defeated. There was weird that was happening in the first place. Fix an issue with many of the class dungeon set bonuses, and that they can only be triggered by abilities, not by item use. And Ragnaros is no longer immune to Paladin's Hand of Reckoning. That was a bummer for Paladin tanking, I guess, week 1, but it is what it is. These bugs happen. Fix the bug interrupting eating or drinking when in your graveyard. And they also fixed the bug where the incorrect version of Kel'Sarrar could appear in the version of the game. With the weekly restart, though, the increased damage taking from lower fire resistance in MC on Heat 2 or Heat 3 has been reduced, but it's still extremely dangerous. So characters who are at 30 resistance or lower than intended should now expect to be take about 3 times the normal amount of damage, and was guaranteed fatal. So from the dev notes, basically, this is intended to allow players who are dependent on resistant totems or paladin auras to have a chance to survive if briefly not within the range of those effects. Now, for individual class changes, it seems like with the resets that happened, Entrapment now triggers a diminishing return as a root effect on players each time it's applied. Subsequent durations will be halved and then quartered in duration, and then the target will become immune for 30 seconds. And then they fix a bug that prevented hunters from being able to interact with the 4 demons involved in the Roque de Lar quest chain. Now, for the Entrapment thing, real quick, the only thing I'll say about that, I think that's a W change on both ends, because at the end of the day, if you're doing AV or AB or whatever you're doing, if there's multiple hunters, that causes a headache on both ends of the side, because how annoying the ability was itself and how it was tuned. It has nothing to do with the players playing the class. They're just playing their class. It just has to do with the ability itself, and obviously the ability was causing more of a nuisance than was creating actual flow within the gameplay. So I think that's a W change no matter how you look at it. For Priest, fixed an issue with respecing did not remove Divine Spirit appropriately. For Rogues, the 6-piece tier 1 bonus no longer puts advantage on cooldown, which I think is actually crazy. Shamans, you can no longer have Burn and Way of Earth active the same time by using Rockbiter rank 3. For Warlocks, Shadow Flame will no longer be overridden by improved Shadow Bolt. And for the Warriors, the 2-piece tier 1 bonus Tactician will no longer be consumed if the spell cast was a free Blood Surge or Slam. So, for the next topic, we got Ragnaros and Baron Geddon getting nerfed on lower heat levels after the weekly reset. So it seems like Blizzard basically is working on a series of hotfixes to adjust MC, and we don't expect these changes to get implemented until some hours have passed, which this has already occurred at this point now. But basically, Ragnaros no longer submerges on twice on Heat 1. Baron now casts Armageddon at 5%, was at 10% originally on Heat 1. Baron Geddon now casts 2 Living Bombs at a time on Heat 2, was 3 casts. Living Bomb no longer leaves a Living Fallout pools on Heat 1. Flamewalker Protectors now cast Dominate Mind much less frequently, and this seems to be a change all across the board, because it seems like Dominant Mind was just happening non-stop. And they also maximize the cast and recast times of several Dispel mechanics, so I'm actually happy about those, like, 2 particular changes down here more than anything, because I think these two things were happening. Like, people always are, complaining about the spells in raids, or obviously the dominant mind happening just like constantly. So I think these two changes right here I like more than anything. But that's basically the changes of what they are heading into with Molten Core, with the weekly resets and everything that we're going forward. So they announced a couple things within this list right here, because mainly the focus here is the shard scale and flame set bonus fix, and the set bonus is now activated by all spells, was only directly healing and spell damage. So that was the changes with shard of the scale and flame set bonus. And anathema and benediction now correctly be swapped after 1 minute cooldown has passed. Now the only thing that I noticed within the MC change here was this thing down here, and also up here with Shazra. So fixed an issue that prevented Shazra from casting the Gate of Shazra twice in a row on Heat 3. But then down here, it says the damage done to self with spells such as Hellfire is no longer increased by lower fire resistance effects on Heat levels 2 and 3 in MC. For the class changes, though, something I was really intrigued about, I think these are cool changes, is that for mages, mass regeneration for detected allies to heal increased to 43 yards and was only 30. Well, only 30, but 30 yards is still good, but 43, that's even better, right? To eliminate the situation where it was possible to heal others who were outside the range for you to heal to apply to yourself. And for priests, homunculi now cast and stack Sunder Armor relative to the rank they would have if they were a warrior of their level. So from the dev notes, basically this takes the place of their casting degrade previously. Now a friendly warrior can refresh a homunculi 5 stack of Sunder Armor. The strength of this debuff at max level is unchanged. And for the Spear of the Redeemer, will now correctly put Pain Suppression and Dispersion on a 2-minute cooldown, was incorrectly set at 5 minutes. Now, for the next subject at hand, this is something that I was seeing actually happen on some Discords in the community, but it seems like people were bringing in more people than intended to Molten Core than it was allowed. And there was a Reddit thread on this as well that I'll showcase here on the screen. It's actually here on the Wowhead article itself. But players actually kind of liked this flex rating to bring in more slots. It is a bummer sometimes when you're forced to, have to, not bring certain people to a raid, and it sucks. You got people on the bench that want to come, but Blizzard did say that Molten Core this time around was intended for 20 players. And to be honest with you, my take on the 20 player versus 40 player thing, and even 10 player content, I think, nowadays when it comes to World of Warcraft, and this is just me being honest, right? I'm never going to bullshit you guys around. I'm always going to tell you the truth, because I have no reason to bicker around the bush or lie about shit, right? That's just not who I am. But nowadays when it comes to WoW, man, it's not easy for a lot of people to get 40 people together. Competent 40 people, by the way, that listen to the raid leaders, listen to the tanks, and follow instruction. Especially with a lot of freaking World of Warcraft players, when, with all due respect, a lot of them are, cooked out of their mind, all right? They're a little crazy, all right? Much love to them, though. Even myself, your boy's a little crazy sometimes, too. But it ain't easy, and it doesn't have that much popularity, is what I'm basically getting at, as it once did. Especially back in the 2019, Tello. Editor, you better not let me stutter again. You will get packed up for what I said. 2019. Jeez, unbelievable. I can't even speak anymore. But what I was trying to say is that the popularity of 2019 Classic era, when the game was going, especially going into 2020 through COVID era, it was insane, dude. Everybody was playing WoW. The hype was real. It was a blast, right? And with Season of Discovery, Phase 1 hype was awesome. It was dope. But we don't have the hype anymore as much as we did. I mean, especially with Phase 2, Phase 3 going into Phase 4. That hype has dwindled down severely. Are there people playing the game? Of course they are. But the hype is not once there as it once was. So getting 40 players together, that can be the top, groups within World of Warcraft. Maybe the top parse Andes, the top parse loggers, right? Doing that. But for more casual guilds, trying to find 20 players is the max that they can do. Trying to find another 20 players on top of that, that's hard for some people to do. I'm not going to lie to you. And I do miss 10-man content, personally. I do think 10-man content was actually really fun. During Phase 1, doing BFD, that was a really enjoyable time. Overall, though, I can understand why Blizzard wants to keep it at 20. I think it's a sweet spot. I don't mind it. But for the future, though, I am looking forward to see if more 40-man style content is going to come out. Obviously, with AQ40 and, maybe if we have to do anything within, BWL to see what the sizes are going to be at that point and what kind of readjustments Blizzard's going to make for the future of Season of Discovery, right? So, they changed this. They said that this was unintended, and MC has been hot fixed to allow only 20 players at this point on. So what do you guys think below? Let me know what you actually think. Do you like 20 player content? Do you like 40 players? Or do you miss 10-man content? Let me know in the the comments below. Now, for this week's news, obviously we have our official week 1 of Molten Core, and a lot of people week 1, this is people getting, they're still in their pre-bis. They're still rocking a lot of items that are not fully bissed out, but this is the damage. These are the meters that we're seeing. As you see here, the top 5 classes in the game currently are Survival Hunter, Assassination Rogue, Marksman Hunter, Combat Rogue, and Affliction Warlock. And I gotta tell you, I'm really happy that Affliction Warlock is on that list. I'm also happy to see the Feral Druid is doing amazing right now. Two specs that I really wanted to see shine was Affliction Warlocks, and I wanted to see Druids to make the comeback. And Druids made a freaking amazing comeback. I was even watching some streams where Druids were doing like well over 2,000 damage. I think like 2,400 damage, some crazy shit. But it was insane overall on the details meters. But I'm really happy to see the Locks and Feral Druids shine. Rogues and Hunters are just pumping, respectively, as they should, right? But I want to see eventually down the line the changes within week 2 and week 3 to see how the lower end classes, much lower end, change. I want to see what happens, with the bottom classes. We have Balanced Druid and Demonology Warlock a little bit more on the lower end, but with Arms Warrior, Subtly Rogue, Beast Mastery Hunter, and Arcane Mage. A lot of these classes, these other specs are meant for other things, of course, but I would like to see how a lot of more classes fare up against these other specs when it comes to having more gear, having their full tier set bonuses, being fully bissed out rather than being fully pre-bissed. So I think week 2, week 3 might show a little bit more of a change as we go through Season of Discovery. As my class, right, we have Retribution Paladin. I wish they showed Shakanin, by the way, Warcraft logs. Can you guys show Shakanin as a thing? Because I want to see where Shakanin is on this list, because I only see Ret Paladin and I don't see Shakanin. It would be awesome to see Shakanin on this list so I can get a good idea where they're at, because that's the one thing I haven't been noticing, and I know they're building towards Shakanin, especially with the tier sets and the Holy Shock things that we get to use. I would really like to see it just to compare the numbers, because we don't get to see it here on Warcraft logs whatsoever. Editor, back to camera 45. However, though, yes, that's something that I would like to see. Now, Red Paladin is in more of the lower end, middle of the pack. I know a lot of people have been asking me in my comments recently, too. They're saying, yo, Tello, what do you think about Red Paladin right now? How do you feel about, twisting, or is it Exodin? What's the thing to do? And I'm going to be honest with you. I personally think that both of them are really good. You have to understand, if you're going for twisting, right, you're sacrificing, instead of bringing a lot of mana back to the group, not much mana back to the group. It's more for self-raid DPS gain to see how much you can pump in comparisons to, helping out the group in terms of mana ratios, especially if you have any, mana-based, classes or specs within your group, depending on your raid comp, right? Me personally, actually, well, now that I think about it, wait, Seal Mardom's raid wide. So, correction on that, forgive me, don't shoot me up. What I'm basically getting at is this. So, let's rewind time real fast, now that I just thought about it. It's all about how you want to play your class, right? You could Seal Twist and go for self-raid, big gain DPS, because Seal Twisting does offer some pretty big burst DPS, and I've done it myself, especially on Lord Kazakh, when we were having world boss fights, and I saw my numbers going up, and I was hella excited. I was like, holy shit, I'm twisting. And then there was times where some twists just weren't working out. But for Exodin, you're getting more mana back for your raid overall. You know what I mean? And it's more important, in my opinion, to go down the Exodin route, only because you're giving, more support to your raid for, the mana users, and with more paladins doing Exodin, that's more mana back to the raid. So it's completely up to you. What do I think is better? it's all subjectable because they're so close. Like I've had some Exodin numbers where I'm like, wow, this is more easier to play. I think that's the thing, that Exodin is more easy to play and it's very simple. And you're just spamming exorcisms. You have Wrath on your head slot. You use all your abilities off cooldown, right? And Art of War, Purifying Power. But with twisting, it has that little skill gap where you're going for the casino effect, or is it gonna be a positive or a negative? And sometimes it doesn't always work out for you, but when it does, and I've had a lot of seal twist procs, when it does, it is some juicy shit, and those numbers go up a lot. So at the end of the day, they're both equaling out. You helping your raid out with more mana, or you equaling out more damage to the boss to help get the boss get killed quicker. Either way how you look about it, you can't go wrong with either twisting or Exodin. It's completely up to you. I personally, right now, I think for twisting, I'm using the Black Blade of Sharam, which I've been having a blast with that weapon. It also gives some bonus effects to group only, not raid. Seal Mardom's raid, obviously. But for the Black Blade of Sharam, it gives it to group-based effects. So sometimes that can give more haste, which is not beneficial for you as a twister, but it's beneficial to other people in your group that do haste, like either rogues or warriors, etc., right? Especially if you have a feral druid, right? But it also gives, if you have it in a group where it's mana back, it gives 50 health of mana, and health and mana, 50-50. And then also, it also gives 2 times increased stats by 50. So Black Blade of Sharam has a random thing to proc many different effects, and it'll just happen. It happens randomly, as you keep, using the blade. So that's really fun. I've been having an enjoyable time with that. But for Exodin, I've been using Redefined Arcanite Champion, and that's been a bad boy right there. That's a bad boy as well. It's really nice, it's really fast, and it's one of the best weapons you can use before you get Typhoon, before you get the full 6-piece Lawbringer set. So I personally like that weapon a lot right now. That's what I'm going to use in raid tomorrow night. I like both. Honestly, I'm not here to have the debate to say which one's more better than the other, because at the end of the day, they're so close where it's like you can't really say which one's best, because they both have some really dope uses to them. And I like that about the Paladin playstyle, and the fact that you can choose the style you want to go with and have fun with it. And that's really basically about it. So let me stop stuttering, let me get out of this conversation before I get packed up by you guys and you start saying Telos was stupid in the comments. You'll all get hit with a people's elbow or a macho man elbow, so back up. I said what I said. However, though, in the next discussion, how to reach 226 fire resistance with Molten Core Heat level 3. Now, this is something that I've talked about on my channel, past couple days as well, is that, you guys, really need to do, your Hydraxian Mortarlord rep, your Thorian Brotherhood rep, do your BRM event, make sure to capitalize on those dailies. And even if you're doing like PvP stuff, on a side note, you can get up to like 25,000, 30,000 honor per event if you just like maximize the PvP there. However, for the fire resistance stuff, you really need to get these things on your cloak, on your head and leg slot, because it is extremely valuable, especially if you eventually want to go up to heat level 3, where you're going to need a lot more heat resistance, whether you get new items such as cloaks, or you get other trinkets, or you get neck based items, any jewelry like your rings, your neck. Some sacrifices have to be made on choices for what gear you want to bring in order to maximize your efficiency within Molten Core, especially within higher heat levels. Right now, I think I'm around like 120, 135 fire resistance for like heat level 2, and eventually I want to work my way to get to heat level 3. So that's my goal right now, is to maximize everything, and especially get exalted with Hydraxian Mortarlords, because then you get to Duke's Domain, which is one of the greatest trinkets in the game, if not one of the best trinkets in the game overall across the boards, for PvE and even in PvP, because you get stamina from it. But just in general, though, really good trinket from Hydraxian Mortarlords. I'll link this down below for you guys to check out on how to get other items, because you can even get items from the Thorian Brotherhood at the Grim Guzzler, and they have many different things now that you can use to maximize your fire resistance, to switch around pieces of gear and play from there. I think one thing I'm about to start going for, actually, I might even buy it today or tomorrow, we'll see what happens, is the Devil Core set. The 2-piece Devil Core set, which I'll put up here, is really good. it's insane, especially, you know, for the amount of stats that you get from it, from the fact that you get a lot of fire resistance from it. Devil Core set is not something to sleep on. That's something that I recommend to you guys as well, that I'm seeing a lot of the top paladins are using right now in the logs. So check that out, and we'll go from there. And you got to remember the Drake's Fire Amulet, even that neck amulet, or if you have the Ember's Fury Talisman, that necklace as well gives you fire resistance too. So there's a lot of options, a lot of alternatives. And, you know, even the wild cloak that you get from, you know, Ubers, from the fire boss, the first fire boss you fight, you can get that cloak too, 20 fire resistance. There's so much fire resistance options in the game, so you guys can get it, go out there, start chasing it, and then eventually you will be able to do heat level 2 and heat level 3 and go from there. So, increased drop chance from Librams of Resilience, and this is something that is actually relatively new. We're on the 1st of today. This was yesterday. So it seems like, you know, people were having issues with seeing a lot of these Librams, and they were also going for a lot of gold on some people's servers. I know on my server, a Libram of Resilience before a couple days ago, before any, you know, videos went out of like how to farm Librams or how to get them a little bit more easier, what dungeons to approach to try to, you know, go with your friends and get them. They were going for like 184 gold, 200 gold on Living Flame. Now, I think with the changes, I think I'm seeing them drop. I'm seeing them drop a lot. I've heard some reports of saying that they're 75 to 100 gold now, which is not too bad. That's actually pretty damn easy. That's like 2 BRM events, you know, or even 1 BRM event, and then you pay a little bit of change. But you can get these Librams of Resilience from various sources of the world now, according to the Blizzard posts. And the one thing that I would recommend, honestly, is doing BRD to get the Librams of Resilience, because for some reason, it seems like BRD has always been good. My friend, who's also farmed in BRD, you know, Ambassador Flamelash as well, my boy, he's in my Discord. He even farmed it, and there's other people that farmed it as well. I even see what's his name, gosh, I'm trying to remember, Notorious OGB. He made a video out the other day, shout out to the amigo as well, and he made a video talking about where to farm this too, and you can solo farm this in BRD, and sometimes it drops, sometimes it doesn't, you know, obviously with luck, right, in RNG, but they increased the drop rates now. I'm sure more than likely there's tons of ways to get this through BRD, Lobers, and Ubers in general. Very good sweet spots right there to get this Libram of Resilience. Overall, that's what I'm going to be doing to get my Librams and just stack more as well, right? And also try to sell them too once you get a whole bunch of them. But regardless of that, they added a chance for Libram of I never can pronounce this. Forgive me. Libram of Veracity. If I said it right, don't shoot me below. Rapidity and resilience to appear in the damage undermine supply crates. Purchase with tarnished undermine reels. And this is amazing because resilience is in there. And now that resilience is in there, this gives more incentive to you to farm your undermine reels, to do your dungeons, to maximize your efficiency. Guys, I promise you, the crates are amazing. I got Arcanite bars last night from these crates. No shit. Like, it's really good. So farm your undermine reels, do all your dungeons, get up to 100 of those reels, and then go play the lottery at Booty Bay. It's going to be really nice. I'm promising you. Essence of the Pure Flame will now show its reflect damage in the combat log. Hydraxian Coronation now binds the target piece of gear. The Alliance Quest End of the Dark Horde is now given by Master Matthias Shaw, was given by General Marcus Jonathan. Overcharge Rune now can be attained by those previously completed the discovery but didn't get the rune. And fine, Flare Core Gloves are no longer class restricted. For the following 3 class changes below, Kill Shot for Hunters now has increased range with the Hawkeye talent, and Hunters can no longer place multiples of the same trap by unequipping Trap Launcher and placing the trap. So it seems like Hunters were doing something to maybe cheese this, get around this. They're on to you. Watch out, Hunters. Much love to you, though. Shamans, the Elemental Tier 1 6p bonus will now correctly refresh Flame Shock to 18 seconds if the burn is engraved. And then for Warlocks, Mage's Balefire Bolt can no longer damage targets affected by Banish. They will be immune. So see, that was a bug. But besides that, guys, that is basically it. I recommend, you know, you guys going out there, farm those reels. They're really good. You would be surprised on how many different items you can get from those crates. There's a lot of juicy ingredients with them to, you know, make some gold, craft some potions, some flasks, etc. And just, you know, go from there. But how has been my journey, though, overall so far these past couple days in World of Warcraft playing it? I've been having a blast. The one thing I will say that I've noticed that has been kind of dead is Arathi Basin. A lot more people are playing AV still, so I'm wondering when people might go back to Arathi Basin, because I'm not seeing a lot of pop on there. Games are taking a long time to queue up on Arathi Basin for sure, but it's understandable. Right now, the hype is more towards Alterac Valley. People are still trying to, farm and get their, reputation, and also get their honor up, which I recommend. If you do your honor, I highly recommend doing the BRM event. You will not want to go back to Alterac Valley if you're already exalted, and farm AV when you could do BRM and get like 30k honor every 2 hours. It's like so easy, it's almost a joke. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually having fun with the BRM event, low key. It's kind of nice. Like I like this event more than STV and any other previous event that we had, even the Ashenvale one. So I think this is one of the better events, and it's fun, going after the rares and chasing those as well, to seeing if a rare will come about, and then maybe you can get a chance to get like an epic cloak or an epic plan, etc. And just doing PvP over there in general. Sometimes the Tor dominates, sometimes it's the line dominated, and sometimes the tide shift. But that's been fun. That's what I've been doing on WoW as of lately. And just doing, the occasional dungeon grinds, helping some friends level, and just playing the game and having fun and just being mad chill about it. That's really all I've been doing. I know I didn't stream yesterday. I apologize. My bad. Like I said, I've just been feeling a little under the weather. But I'll be back. Maybe this weekend we'll get some streams going Saturday and Sunday. Shout out to the streams below. Hello, JTello on Twitch TV. The guilty link below. Much love to you. Selfish plug. My bad, guys. Check me out there, though. And we will go from there. How long have we been recording this video? 25 minutes? Unbelievable. I'm packed, all right? I need some night. I need some sleep time. My tummy. Ow. Coach. Call me out, coach. Call me out. Unbelievable. Unreal. Anywho, that's about it. That's all I got for you guys. How do I end these fucking videos? I don't even know anymore. I never understand, like, the idea to end videos. Like, who comes up with, like, outros and shit? What is this? 1 second. Brought to you by Dark Chocolate Sea Salts. These are actually pretty damn good, by the way. I'm not even gonna front. I've been shoving like 4 or 5 of them up my... I'm gonna end the video now.